So, as you probably know, Kaiju number 8 is ending in less than 2 chapters, but when this video is out, it's probably going to be already ended. But I want to make this video to kind of just reminisce about Kaiju number 8 for a bit with you. This will mostly be just a rant, but I hope you enjoy it. Oh, and spoiler warning up to chapter 122 of the manga, because that's as far as I've read. Kaiju number 8's reputation right now is pretty low. Of course, it wasn't always like this, and fully honestly, I even know at what point a big change in the opinion of Kaiju number 8 happened. I'll just come out and say it was just before the anime, around winter of 2023/2024. If you don't remember what happened then, in short, the author did the terrible mistake of trying to match one of the biggest moments of the series, Kaiju number 8 and Kaiju number 9's confrontation, with the release of the anime. Of course, this isn't confirmed, but it's my favorite theory. If you're wondering, what does that matter? Isn't that a good thing? Well, it would have been, if the story hadn't already been too far in for that. Every other plot point in that arc had already been solved. Hoshina plus number 10 versus number 12, Kikoru versus number 15, Narumi versus 11, Mina versus number 14, and Kafka versus number 13. Everything had already been done. And only then did the author decide to slow the pace to match probably one of the best moments of the series with the release of the anime. As a result, the pacing completely went to shit. At the time, I was still keeping up to date with every ongoing series I was reading, and let me tell you, I grew more and more disappointed, and a little bit of dislike of the series started to grow inside. And to be honest, when the moment finally did happen, it wasn't hype as I expected it to be. Instead, it was almost like relief and a bit of renewed hope that the series might be getting its pacing back. I remember reading the comments of those chapters, and at the start, it was just like any other chapter, to slowly people saying things like, oh, it's just another filler chapter. I counted, and it took like just over 3 months for the thing to finally happen. At some point, I saw someone comment, why didn't the author just take a multiple months research hiatus and wait for the anime to start so the pacing would be fine, like the Dandadan author does sometimes? And I have to completely agree. If the author had just taken a break close to when the anime began, public opinion and overall storytelling would have been a lot better. Even with everything I just mentioned, I can't bring myself to hate or even really dislike Kaiju number 8. I'm making this video and this channel exists because of it. For me, Kaiju number 8 is the manga that got me into manga. The only manga that I read before Kaiju was Fire Punch, and to me, it was pretty good, but I probably wouldn't have continued reading manga in general if I just read that. I've talked about this before in one of my previous videos. I'm not sure, but it could have been my manga evolution video. But I remember back when I had about 6 manga volumes, I went to a store with 2 friends and saw the manga section. I bought Chainsaw Man volume 6 because I just finished the anime and wanted to continue the manga for a bit, and Kaiju number 8 volume 1. I think when I got home, I didn't read Kaiju for a while. After like 2-ish weeks, until I eventually read it, and oh my god, I was hooked. I think the next day I was going to the mall with my dad, and I went to a bookstore, and I was happy to see that they also had a manga section. I checked, and they had volume 2. I immediately took it and bought it. And as you can maybe guess, I read it the same day as I bought it, at home. I really liked the second volume. I liked it so much that I asked my parents that when they were going to the mall the next time, could they take me too, because I wanted to buy volume 3. They agreed, and I was at the store a few days later. However, there wasn't volume 3. I was bummed and went home empty-handed, noting to myself that there was volume 4 and 7. I checked the store's online page, and they didn't have volume 3 in stock at all. They had volumes 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. Every day. I checked the website twice a day for if they had restocked on volume 3, but it seemed that no matter how long I waited, it wasn't coming back. It still isn't back to this day. Eventually, I grew tired of waiting and read all of volume 3 online. Just as a note, I thought reading volume 3 online would be so boring, and it would be so much better to read it physically. But it actually wasn't that bad. I actually really liked it. I remember being so surprised when I got to the end of volume 3 because I had read it all in one sitting. And finally, the volume that I wanted to talk about. Volume 4. Just before I read Volume 3, I bought Volume 4 because I happened to be at one of those stores and they had Volume 4. I remember being so excited to read Volume 4. If you don't know what happened in Volume 4, it was mainly the Hoshina versus number 10 arc. Or more accurately, the number 10 attack on the 3rd squad's base. When I got to the Hoshina versus number 10 fight, I can't even describe it. My heart was pounding. I couldn't wait to open the next page. And when this panel came, I was mesmerized. I was so excited. And when number 10's last-ditch suicide assault happened, I genuinely thought it was so over. Only for the main character to do his thing and reveal his identity as number 8 to save everyone. The panel where Kafka literally shattered the suicide attack was so fucking hype. My reaction was so similar to the sidecasts. What I'm trying to say is that even with the bad of Kaiju number 8, it can't take back my amazing memories and experiences of reading Kaiju number 8 for the first time. And I'll say this right now, yes, I now know that it is just a generic shonen, but it was literally the manga that got me here. And for that, I'm almost like grateful to Kaiju number 8. And even though now I don't nearly like it as much, it will never leave my 10 out of 10 score that I've set it on my anime list, or my manga list. Now, I want to talk about the anime. I watched the entire first season because, well, it was still at the time among my favorite manga, and half the reason I bought the first volume was because I saw it was going to have an anime and the trailer looked awesome. And I have to say, I liked the manga way more. It wasn't because I already knew what was going to happen, but because I thought the adaptation went cheap and weird in some places. The two main places I will mention are the number 10's design and the Hoshina versus number 8 fight. Apart from those two, in my opinion, it was a pretty good adaptation. Although, I can't really say how good of an adaptation it was, because this is the only anime that I've read the manga before watching. Let's talk about number 10's design. I can't remember exactly, but I think I saw on Twitter that people were also unhappy or surprised by the design. I mean, when you see manga panels like these, you wouldn't expect them to be red, right? I mean, I know I did not expect him to be red of all colors. When I saw that, I got a little confused because that instantly shattered my image of what number 10 looked like. So much so that I, unironically, can't tell you how I imagined him before seeing his official color. Like, maybe he looked a little something like, give me a second. There. Oh, and about number 10. I also think that the fight in the anime was a little bit underwhelming when you compare it to the manga. Or maybe the manga just slaps different, I don't know. But when talking about Hoshina versus number 8, I'm talking about this scene specifically. I don't know about you, but I imagine Hoshina here attacked number 8 a solid 20 times. While in the anime, he just grazed him thrice. When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? That's all? To be frank, I was really disappointed. I felt like they cheaped out on this fight. Alright, this will probably be the last thing I talk about. Now, I know the manga is going to end in 2 chapters, and I'm not even up to date with the current chapters. I recently binge read a bunch though, so I'm only a couple chapters away. But currently, the ending seems to be unfulfilling. The reason I say this is because the author maybe slightly forgot the backstory of Kafka and Mina, where they promised each other that they would kill every monster. Currently, it looks like Kafka will beat the strongest current and strongest of all time monster. But the original goal was to kill every monster. I remember a while back, I had this discussion with another fan that was up to date with the manga, in which he said that the manga seems to be headed towards its ending. But I responded with the same thing, that Kafka still hasn't achieved his ultimate goal of killing every monster. And he agreed. I also mentioned the samurai, which appeared for 2 panels and disappeared from the story completely, and how that could be another arc he could do. But that already happened, so I can't say that anymore. I can't say much here anymore because, well, the story hasn't ended yet at the time of writing this script, and I'm not up to date with it. But I doubt I will be proven wrong in the last few chapters. Alright, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, feel free to watch this video, which you see on screen now. So, once again, I hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time. See ya!